Doc Rivers got signed by Philly. The report came out that he was watching the finals with, I guess, like the ownership or manager.
Yeah, he was.
And then right after they saw him watch the finals, they're like, we got to sign this guy. But okay, Doc Rivers is going to Philly. Do you guys think this makes a difference for the 76ers?
I do. And not a big difference, like, oh my God, they're going to the chip. But I think he's a big upgrade to Brett Brown.
And I spoke to Sixers fans.
Communicator as well.
Every Sixers fan I spoke to hated Brett Brown. So I agree.
And I want to say this. People are going to blame Doc Rivers. Yes, he is one of the reasons why they blew a 3-1 lead. But a 3-1 lead blown, I really feel like should go on to the players more than the coach. Because at the end of the day, yes, the coach can do whatever he needs to do to put you in a position to win. But you're out there playing. And if you blow 3 straight games, I feel like the players deserve most of the blame. I do think Doc Rivers is the way he talked about Ben Simmons and Embiid, he was pretty much praising them, how they were this great duo. They were like Magic and Kareem. So the way he's talking is like he's probably going to rock this out for one more year. So I do think Doc Rivers can benefit them in the way where they can make a run in the playoffs, but I don't see it being better than a 5th, 4th seed, and maybe a second round, maybe an ECF, depending on who they play.
I think this was the perfect fit for the 76ers because you have Doc Rivers coming in who's an underachiever, and the Sixers, they're underachievers. They never meet expectations. So I feel like this is a perfect match. Look, I don't think coaching is the problem. I know Philly hated Brett Brown as a coach, but look, I think that coaching really wasn't the problem in Philly. I think the problem in Philly was management. Elton Brand never gave Embiid and Simmons a consistent starting 5. You look at every single year, their starting 5 changed. Last year it was Jimmy and JJ, right?
Jimmy didn't want to come back though.
Okay,
he said if you get rid of Brett Brown, he said in the JJ Redick podcast, he said if they would have got rid of Brett Brown, I would have stayed. He said, but Brett Brown wasn't going to go.
That's crazy.
Jimmy and JJ were starting last year, and then this year you have Josh Richardson and who else? Al Horford, at a point, and then Shake Milton. So you never had a consistent starting 5. Shake. Even a year before, they had Covington and Saric.
I remember that team.
Right? Like, they've never had a consistent starting 5 for Brett Brown to kind of figure out all these players. And I'm not saying Brett Brown's a great coach because I think he's one of the worst ones in the league. Especially out of the playoff teams, he was the worst coach out of every team.
And you look at those guys you keep naming, none of them mesh. Yeah. Those teams don't mesh.
But the main problem in Philly is that the player that you're guaranteeing the most money to on the roster is Tobias Harris, $180 million. And you still don't know if Simmons and Embiid can fit. So realistically, like I think this is a lateral move. I don't think it makes them any better. Maybe people have more expectations for them and then they don't meet them again. You know, same thing with what happened this past year. But I think this is a recipe for disaster, and I wouldn't rule it out if Embiid and Simmons are gone in a couple years and maybe less than 2.
I feel like one or the other would be away.
I don't think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it has to be one or the other. I think the 76ers they need a organizational change.
I think has to go.
I think Doc Rivers. I think it's a lateral move too because Doc Rivers just hasn't done anything recently, and I mean. With the 3-1 lead, I'm not going to put the blame so much on Doc Rivers because you got to just look at it. I mean, if they were playing at L.A., I think it probably would have made a difference in that series versus having to play in a bubble. But I don't think that Doc Rivers is going to do anything dramatic to make the 76ers that much of a great team. I still think possibly like second round of the playoffs, but I think it's just the 76ers as an organization needs to find some change, not even just the head coach.
I think it's really all about matchups because if you like, all right, I'm going to go hypothetically speaking, this year, if Ben Simmons was healthy, I realistically think if they would have probably played Indiana, they would have went to the second round. But the fact that they played Boston, who was a better team, I never believed that Philly was going to beat Boston. When they've seen them, especially no Ben Simmons, I was like, it's over.
I thought if they were healthy, they could have
made it. Yeah, they could have made it 6. But I don't think they'd have won. I think the only realistic team they could have beat was if they would have seen Indiana, they would have probably beat them. Any other team, I feel like they had their number. Toronto had their number. Miami had their number. Milwaukee, we know they had their number. So that team, I don't know.
I just think when you look at it, like although Brett Brown was an issue there and a big issue, so this is great for them that they got him off the books. I think that a bigger problem is the construction of the team. Like I feel like they were just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks which, plays into your point that they haven't had a consistent starting five. They brought back the wrong guy in Tobias Harris for way too much money, because I like Tobias Harris, but he does not deserve that much money, and now they're handcuffed with the money. And bringing in Al Horford,
that was horrible.
not a smart move. But I do think one thing that can help them is a guy that we talked about earlier this week, Buddy Hield, who has essentially ghosted the Kings, and a lot of signs had pointed towards him being traded to Philadelphia.
Buddy
I think
Hield
that
would
would
be a
be a
great third
great
option.
move for them.
No, he's a shooter.
And
would
they
be a
need a
great third
shooter,
option.
because
Dog.
you look at their three-point shooting, and the only guys who shot over 40% from three are
Shake?
Furkan Korkmaz, who he's a good fit there.
Shake Milton?
Alec Burks, who realistically is not going to play real minutes for you. Shake Milton
knew it.
did
Yes,
shoot
there
over
we go.
40%
I knew
from
it.
three. And Trey Burke, who should not really be playing
He
big
was
minutes
doing
for a
his thing in the
playoff team.
bubble, though.
I
Yeah,
just
Trey Burker's pretty good.
He was.
but they need a real a real starting shooting guard
Yeah.
who can shoot the ball.
So then who would go if they get Buddy? You think Josh Richardson?
But it has to be Josh Richardson.
Yeah.
With Tobias?
Nobody wants to trade for Tobias.
Yeah, I mean,
That was
you
such a
could get
bad
Tobias.
move. I
off
feel
the
like they
books,
really
that'd be
should have
great.
kept Jimmy. They was
they
one
probably have
shot
to
away.
trade Josh and Horford. Those are the two
Yeah.
guys
Or
that they
just
have to try
Horford.
to trade.
'Cause
And-
I think Buddy Hield's contract and Horford's are the same thing. So if you can get Horford out of there, giving about both.
If you could surround Ben Simmons with shooters, I think it would be a very good team. But the problem is they haven't done that. Like, they have not surrounded him with guys who can spot up shoot.
Kept
Like,
JJ too.
even Jimmy Butler wasn't a spot up shooter. Like, that team was not full of
That
spot up
team was
shooters.
one shot away from going to the ECF though.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they probably would have made the finals if they did that
I agree with you there.
and beat the Golden State Warriors that they were
And
injured.
think about
Hell
how
no.
much different things
Hell
would be
no.
right now.
Hell no. Hell no.
With the injuries?
No. Toronto was no. Philly was not beating the Warriors. No. Toronto was way better than Philly. No.
Without KD.
How are they way better, but they lost in 7 in one of the luckiest shots in NBA history that Kawhi had?
We all know the Clippers are better than Denver. They just lost in 7.
But
I-
I don't
listen.
think the Toronto Raptors were way better
Okay.
than Philly last year.
Okay,
though.
that's fair to say. I mean, I'm just. I mean,
it was a neck and neck.
Toronto.
series.
I'm just saying, the Warriors would have played Philly, they don't have to worry about a Kawhi. They don't have to worry about
Who's
Fred
guarding
Van-
Embiid though?
Yeah, that's true.
Jimmy Butler on who?
Who's
Klay
he-
Thompson was injured. Jimmy Butler on Curry. I think that's a good
Yeah.
matchup.
And then you still have Ben Simmons.
He can't score.
No,
could throw-
but I'm
you could
saying defensively that would have been a nightmare matchup for Golden State, because that was a great defensive
We see what
lineup.
Jimmy's doing in the finals right now. Who's to say
He
wouldn't
wasn't
have done
going to do that.
last
He
year?
wasn't going to do that last year. You can't say that. You can't say that.
It's against
They
LeBron.
didn't need it. They wouldn't have needed him like that though.
But the environment.
You got to remember, Iggy plays defense too. Like,
home
we're just
crowd.
sleeping on Andre Iguodala playing
You
D.
just said he lost a step last year.
No, bro.
I mean, last episode you literally said he lost a step. He's not the same. You
probably
said
did.
that.
He's not.
Yeah,
He's
probably
not
did.
the same.
He was playing good D on Kawhi.
But I do agree with your point. I don't see Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid in Philadelphia for the long haul. And I've been saying this for like 2 years now. These guys cannot coexist together, because at the end of the day, you have a big man who wants to play like a guard and a guard who wants to play like a big man. It's not going to work.
Yep.